Got everybody.
Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday. Good evening, everyone. I like to keep the show to about 90 minutes. Kippolicious. Be sure you get that schmedium every Tuesday night. Full tilt boogie. Kippolicious. Good evening, everyone. Twisted Tea. Good evening, everyone. Be sure you get that schmedium. Twisted Tea. Hippopotamus. Cold beverage. Schmedium. Midler. Out in BFE. Out in BFE. At the end of the day. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday. Full tilt boogie.
It's been a long road since the original Kicker christened that first pickup truck. It kicked off a car audio renaissance, and upgrading your music in a vehicle was a requirement. America's music machines became living loud over your passion, your emotion, your existence. Outdoors or on the open road, your sound is Kicker.
We're here at the Denso
NHRA 4-Wide Nationals here in Las Vegas. Man, we have got two-time funny car, top fuel champion, Cruz Pedregon here, icon of the sport. Dude, we just so appreciate you taking the time. But I got to ask you, so we know in 1986 you were driving go-karts, and a year later you're in a dragster. What made that change of going from wanting to do, track racing to running down straight track racing?
I started out with something I could afford, so there was a little dirt track, or a few dirt track races in Southern California that I started racing. Like I said, I could afford it. They're still expensive, but I always had my eye on drag racing. So I caught the eye of an owner that had a low budget team, started out very humble beginnings. I basically worked for food. I worked to race for nothing. So, but I started out, you couldn't have started out further down the ladder than I did, but I'm glad I did, because I was able to parlay that into driving for a bigger team through the years, won a championship, and here we are. I own my own team. I've been in business for like 15 years now, or 20 years on my own with Snap-on and KICKER and all the great sponsors, so very exciting time.
Cruz, we know you're super passionate about what you do. We're curious, what drives you, what refuels you off the track when you're at home?
Well, I have a daughter now, so it's I just love my daughter. She's going on 8 years old, so priorities change a little bit, but I've always had this passion for racing, so much so that that's all I would do morning, noon, and night. I would think about it when I got up. I go to bed at night. Racing was my entire life, and it still is, but I share a little bit of that during the off time with my daughter Raya and my girlfriend Melissa. So, it's one of those things where the desire to perform at this level and to do it, I feel like I have my best years ahead of me. I have so much more experience than I did when I started out that I want to put that to good use. So here we are.
That's awesome. Well, man, I tell you, KICKER is super proud to be associated with you. We're blessed to be part of the team and helping out. And hey, now that we've got this killer PA system back here jamming the pits, what's that mean for you and your team and your guests and everybody in your organization?
Well, having a brand like KICKER, number one, is an honor for us. Really, I know it's a brand that goes way back. Heck, we've all heard of them. So for them to be, you guys support us like you do is really an honor for us. But we want to do our part on the racetrack and put your guys' name out there. But as far as what you guys just created for us was really cool. I didn't have any idea the quality of sound with all the noise, all the race cars starting, all the voices and all the generators running, that we could still hear loud and clear the PA system. So thanks to KICKER, great product, and we have a lot of Snap-on guests that are invited to come out here as part of the customer service to say thank you to the Snap-on customers for buying the tools. So it's a great opportunity for us to speak to them but not have to yell. So they appreciate it. Like I say, the brand speaks for itself. It's quality. So we're tickled to have them.
Well, thank you so much, man. Look, after 32 some years of blasting down the track, pulling 4 Gs, what keeps you pushing to do this, man?
It's amazing because you never get used to these cars. Like, my eyes still burn like everybody else. They're still loud, but they accelerate. Every run is like a new run. You never know what they're going to do, but I feel like I have a little bit less stress because I kind of know what the car is supposed to do and what it feels like to make a good run. So, like I said, as a driver, yeah, I've got a few miles on me, but I think in this sport, you can still be a little older and still be able to perform at a high level. So that's what I look at as I don't feel like I'm a deficient guy in this driver's seat. If anything, I hope I can bring something to it. But the day's going to come, hey, I'm an owner and I have a fast car. The day's going to come where, hey, I'm going to want to look at a younger driver and somebody, to replace me so I can maintain ownership and maybe tune that guy into a championship or gal, whoever. So, but it's a business. I look at it as a business. It has to make sense down the road, but I'm not looking, I'd say another 4 or 5 years in this seat, I'm good.
Hey, I know you're running tight on time. You got a last qualifying run. Again, we're blessed to be with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We love you, brother.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
See you.
about a minute and a half, going on 2 minutes late tonight. This cup kind of fits how tonight's gone along. We had a little bit of technical difficulty. We had our guests in trying to get things going, and we had a switcher take a dump on us. So you'll notice the Kicker Unmasked Live bug that's normally in the corner of the screen, that's not running tonight. We are still live. It's just we don't have the bug because we've lost a switcher. So, that's one way to take a couple $1,000s and wave bye-bye to it. But we'll get that taken care of for next week's show. We'll get another switcher in. But fortunately, we were able to do some hot swapping, get things going. And we had some backup stuff, so we're back up and running. We apologize I didn't get the full pre-roll in. Thank you all for tuning in. Just want to let you know why we're running a little bit late tonight. We've got some great guests joining us later on the show. We do the drawing for the big winner for the Mobile Solutions Contest with Bryan Schmidt. He's going to be joining us. And man, we are proud to have him on the show. He'll be joining us later with Bryan, is Mark from Car Audio Fab. He's going to be on as well. He uses a lot of tools from the Mobile Solutions shop. We're going to have some great demos. We can get some questions into him. He can tell us all the great tools he uses from Bryan's stockpile of installer accessories and items that make your jobs look better than the guy down the streets. So with that said, tonight in the studio, we got myself as always. We got Tim behind camera to keep him busy tonight. We got JW and Ernie in the back, along with Bill Frog taking care of social media. Don't forget that we always do, if this is your first time to the show, you wouldn't know this, but if it's your second or third or 33rd time to come to the show, we do a nightly drawing every Tuesday night for everyone who tunes into the show. So if you will, please go to kicker.com/UM Weekly. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask Ernie, just go ahead and bring my laptop up as an asset, and I'll show you that here real quick. But we actually do a weekly giveaway. You just go to kicker.com/UM Weekly. That'll get you right to the web page there. I'm going to click the got it because I got it. Scroll down, you'll see the prizes that we are giving away, first, second, third place tonight. And at the very bottom of the page, it's really easy. All you got to do is click here and say, I agree to join the Kicker newsletter and accept the terms and privacy policy. Click continue, and then it'll ask you the questions you need to enter the contest. Now, we do use a double opt-in system, so you're going to have to agree here to accept the newsletter. You're going to get an email. If you really don't want to get the newsletter, you can opt out at that time, but this is how we get you to enter the contest. So you can opt in, enter the contest, opt out in the email, and do it again next Tuesday if you want to. The email is pretty cool, though. It's new upcoming products, anything that's out in the dealers, hot new products that are coming, any specials, deals, all that kind of stuff, insider tips. We think it's a pretty good newsletter. We mail it out about once a month, and so we ask you to just join that, but you can opt out if you want to. So that's the giveaway for tonight, the UM Weekly. Be sure you join that. We launched that at 7:15. It's going to run right up until 8:30. We shut it down, and then we draw those 3 winners tonight. So one of our great ways of saying thank you for tuning into the show. We get to reward a few of you with some great kicker prizes. Speaking of some great kicker prizes, the next one, this one, we're giving away the winner tonight. This is the Kicker and Master Tech Expo giveaway that we're doing in conjunction with Bryan Schmidt over at Mobile Solutions. Looking here, it looks like we got 133,660 entries up to midnight last night. Man, a whole bunch of people entered this contest. The winner of this contest, you're going to get the seat at the event. You're going to get a round trip plane ticket from Kicker to and from. You're going to get your hotel room covered. You're going to get $350 cash that you can use for food or drinks or whatever you need to do while you're out there and getting your learn on and seeing what all can be done with all these fantastic tools that Mobile Solutions provides. That winner, we will draw close to the end of the show. We want to keep you hanging in. Brian's going to join us. Mark's going to join us. We're having a good time on that, and then we'll get to that giveaway. Last but not least, we always go here, events. We used to go through and show everyone. Bill did a great job here. He's actually got them compiled on the Kicker page. All you do is go to the Kicker page on Facebook. If it's working. If it was yesterday, you wouldn't be able to get to the Kicker page until it got back and running. How it went down, we don't know. Mysteries of life. But when Facebook is up and running, go hit that. You're going to find over here, just click events, and you'll see we've got the events listed here. We are one of the key sponsors for the 2021 SPL Car Audio Championships. That's going on the October 8th and 10th, Friday, October 8th at 10 a.m. and then, of course, that Saturday, that whole weekend, basically. Then the next one is October 23rd to the 24th. That's Midwest SPL. That's going to be going on in Sedalia, Missouri. We're also a big key sponsor of that event as well. And last but not least, we actually talked about this on the show, is the Showdown, the Great Las Vegas Taco Festival. Man, it's going to be a car show, music, food truck serving some of the best food out there, and just about every every organization out there is going to be doing judging and everything. Steve even said it's going to be a 3X event, so basically you could attend his event and just get all the points you need at his event, even probably go to a finals. So that's going to be a big show. That one is actually the weekend right after SEMA. SEMA ends on the 5th. This will be the 6th and 7th out in Las Vegas, Nevada. So those are the key events that we've got going on. But when it comes to giveaways, you still got my screen up, Ernie? Awesome. So speaking of giveaways, winners, we'll bring this up real quick. You know, if you watch the show just a wee little bit, you know that there are some guys who like to hang out in the feed and they troll a little bit and they just do it all in fun, and we know that they're good guys, but you know, Deviant and 25 Hertz to Life, they're always talking about how the contest is rigged and they can't win and et cetera. And we've let people know the contest is rigged. It's just rigged so that Deviant and 25 Hertz are never allowed to win. That's the key that we just want people to know. If we pull their names out, we just put them back in and never let them win until this happened. And of course, Deviant, he's got his bearded dragon there with his kicker. That's actually a t-shirt that our own Sam D got made for him to send out for his bearded dragon, because he talks about him on the show all the time and in the feed. But he actually won and got himself a set of KICKER Bluetooth headphones. And so he's got his bearded dragon there with his t-shirt on top. Checking that out. Deviant, thanks for sending us the pick along, and thanks for tuning into the show. We are really glad that you won. We like giving you a little bit of a razz, you know, on the whole rig thing, but it is a full random contest. I guess if you stick around long enough, you'll actually win something. So that's pretty cool. Great picture right there. And with that said, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to come back to here, come back to StreamYard. Ernie, if you want, you can go ahead and bring me. There we go. Hey, everyone. So that kind of takes care of the key things right there. Be sure you enter the contest for tonight. That'll be until 8:30 Central Time, so you got from now to then to go hit that contest. That's www.kicker.com/UMweekly. Bill is back there, and JW, they'll get that scrolling across the bottom. You'll see that and other information on the bottom feed there. So go check it out, enter that contest. Now, before you guys leave tonight, don't do it now, but before you leave the show tonight, if you guys enjoy what we're putting on here at Kicker Unmasked every Tuesday night, we need a huge favor from you. On the way out the door, if you don't mind, smash that thumbs up button. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the KICKER YouTube channel. Helps us a lot, especially with our bosses, letting them know everything that's going on, what we're showing, shows that you guys enjoy the show and enjoy the content. And after you hit that thumbs up button and smash it, if there's anything you'd like to see on the show, if you've got a topic, a product you want us to go more in depth on, if there's a guest you'd like to have us get on the show, anything like that, we're always encourage you, please reach out to social@kicker.com, and maybe Bill can create a quick banner and roll that across the bottom so you can actually see that and write it down. But it's literally just the word social@kicker.com. That gets you right into Bill Frog's inbox. You got any of those great ideas? We want to hear those from you. Please drop those into the email system. Send them our way. We do have a meeting. We plan these shows out about a month in advance so we know what the topics are for the next 30 days. If you've got something you'd like for us to cover, we'd love to hear your ideas. So drop them in, social@kicker.com. Again, that gets you straight into Bill Frog's inbox. So we'd like you to do that as well. Tonight, we got our fat burger on. Wasn't fat burger, but we went down to 5 guys. All of us had some more fries and more hamburger than we needed, and I looked across the table, and I wanted one. And Tim, you got a shake. How could you do that to me? It's just, I want the shake too, but it's just like, what is a shake? Isn't it like 3,000 calories in a cup or something like that? Probably. Tim's sitting back here behind camera. He's just got a grin ear to ear, and I think there's a little bit of shake hanging off of his nose. But Tim had a shake from 5 Guys tonight. It looked mighty good. I may have to get me a shake after the show somewhere. Do they serve shakes down there with Twisted Tea? I don't know. We'll have to check that out and find out. JW, do we have any comments to put up on the screen tonight or any shout-outs that we'd like to give out? Help Andy reach 1,000 subscribers. 25 Hertz to Life, that's a great thing. If you're not familiar with Andy, Living Loud with Andy, that's his YouTube channel. Andy is a KICKER fan. He tests and shows a lot of different products besides just KICKER, but he did create the KICKER fan club that is on Facebook. That took off like a rocket for him. Great guy. Andy's very intelligent. He knows his stuff. He likes helping people. So if you're not tuned into Andy's content, go check him out. It's Living Loud with Andy. That is his YouTube channel, or check him out on Facebook because he runs the KICKER fan club that's available on Facebook. So go check him out. Love to get more subscribers for him. I'll be honest with you though, 25, it's taken off pretty well for him. That is, he's gotten a lot of subscribers there. And Bill, how many subscribers are we up to now?
More than 1,000.
How many more?
About 21,000.
Are we at 21,000 already?
Pretty close.
So guys, you know what? We told you, and this has been a few weeks back, that when we hit 20,000 subscribers, we were going to do some kind of a contest for hitting the big 20K mark. And I knew we were getting close to 21. Bill just concerns we've actually gone over 21. So now tonight we're going to announce the winner for the big contest with Mobile Solutions. And that frees us up to come back next Tuesday and come up with a contest for the 20K giveaway. You got some ideas on what you'd like to see in that giveaway? We'd love to hear them. Throw those in again, social@kicker.com. What do you think would be a good giveaway to do for a 20,000 subscriber level? You know, we hit that bar. We've actually gone beyond it. We're now at 21,000. But hey, what do you think would be a great prize to give away? We'd love to hear your comments, hear your thoughts. Now that we got this big drawing going on tonight, announcing that winner, that frees us up to do that next big contest, and that's going to be the 20K giveaway. So we haven't forgot you. We know we announced that a few weeks back. It's just we had this other contest going on with Bryan, and we didn't want to overlap two big contests. So now this one's cleared out the pipeline. We can get that one going. Have some ideas? Throw them at us. We have a few days to think about before we announce what that contest is going to be. On next Tuesday's show is when we'll launch the 20K giveaway contest. So any other comments there, JW? Whoever sends, you know I like me some Thin Mints. I do like me some Thin Mints, Train. If you want to send some Thin Mints this way, it might help you get into the rigged part of the contest, maybe, just maybe. Yeah, Thin Mints, I have a weak spot for those. Flexin' 500. OMG, Five Guys burgers are so good you can eat them without teeth. You know, tonight I used my teeth to eat my burger, but ironically, Ernie, who has to watch his carbs and his breads, he actually got his wrapped in lettuce. And watching Ernie eat a Five Guys burger with a knife and a fork and a spoon because it was wrapped in lettuce was a little interesting, I will say that. Shake Life, car audio fabrication, Shake Life. What is Shake Life? Oh, he's talking about the Five Guys. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, I was really jealous of Tim tonight when I saw that shake across the table. I'm actually a little hurt that I didn't get one. It was my choice. I could have got one, but I just chose not to. We got Tin Bender wearing my black Kicker UM t-shirt now. Thanks again for the swag. Hey, Tin, thank you very much. You know, this last year has been interesting for all of us. You know, Kicker, all of us are used to getting out in the field and traveling, going to live events in person, whether it's a SEMA, a CES, you know, whether you're looking at Knowledge Fest, any of the other big shows that we do, like Samology, or even the Showdown out in Vegas. There's all these events we go to, and unfortunately, we've been shut down for that for travel because of safety reasons. So at least we were able to create this show every Tuesday night. 5 of us here, we really like getting together and putting this together for you guys. And it's a chance for us to give away a little bit of Kicker love every Tuesday night. So thank you for watching the show. Thank you for entering, and thank you for enjoying your t-shirt. Deviant for life, 33 weeks, never missed a show. You all know that's facts. You know, Deviant, we can't believe how many shows that we're putting on here. And we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary, which is crazy. And we're going to have to think of something we could do for our 1-year anniversary. That's going to be kind of interesting, but we are getting close to that, and it's coming. So, you know, it's kind of funny. They ask, you know, a lot of other people here go, you know, ask Ernie or myself or Tim or JW, even Bill, say, so this Tuesday night show you guys are doing, how long are you going to do this? And we're like, till they quit watching. They're like, you're going to do it every week? And we joke with each other, yeah, we're going to do it every week. And we're coming up on the 1-year mark, and we're really proud of that. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in and enjoying the show. We do it for you guys. Jesse Strawn over in T-Town, Tulsa. How you doing tonight, Jesse? Ready to kick it with my Kicker people. Jesse, we're always glad to be here. You know, Jesse was actually the guy that won our first pizza giveaway that we did, which was kind of interesting. That was one of those oddball contests we came with on the cuff where we actually gave away a pizza meal to a lucky winner, and he got to share it with his family and his girls. So that was awesome, Jesse. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We love having you on board. You're close when things lighten up and you get you in the studio. High Five Vega, Robert, my sir, how are you tonight? Let me get those sick Kip beats in a flack download. You know, Ernie is, he is going to master, we're using here in the studio, Ernie put that all together. He said, just record the Kipisms that people, either you say or people have put on the plate for you. So I have, we recorded those out, and Ernie put that whole track together. It's really pretty amazing. We've listened to it on actual, you know, bigger stuff like the quad box and some stuff. It hammers. Ernie did a great job putting some low end in there. He's going to master that out so that it's actually, you know, what I would like to call record worthy. So it's got the levels capped and everything right. And when that's available, I think our plan is we're going to put it out on FLAC. We're going to put it out on ALEC, we're going to put it out on Wave, and we'll put it out on MP3 because those are the big four that everyone needs. And you'll be able to, probably what we'll do is we'll make those direct downloads off of kicker.com would be my guess. We haven't crossed that bridge yet, but we are going to make that available for download. And you never know, there might be a few other hits on the B side of that that might come along for the ride as well. So keep your eyes tuned. Thanks for tuning in, Robert. We appreciate it. Sergio Morales, Solo X would be awesome giveaway. You know, Sergio, we have given away quite a few L7Xs out of the Solo X family. We started that with the original UnMasked we did back in October last year. We've done a few other contests. We did one at Slamology where you could go and enter and win. We've actually got that. Of course, pardon me, everyone who's won an L7X is patiently waiting because unfortunately this last year has been a dumpster fire is what I like to call it, and it's slowed down everything. So L7X, which was supposed to be available the first part of this year, is actually pushed off to the first part of next year. We're looking to have those drivers available Q1, Q2 of 2022. As we get closer to that, maybe we'll do some more giveaways with the L7X, but we have a whole bunch of people already waiting for that, and they're waiting patiently. And if you're one of those lucky winners, you're tuned in tonight, thank you for being patient. We can't send you what we don't have yet, which speaking of that, go ahead and give me another comment up, JW, if you can, but I want to touch this real quick. Next week, we are going to do a rundown show, and we're going to cover all of the products that we announced at SEMA last year, the SEMA timeframe. We're going to do a rundown and let you know how many of those products have shipped, how many of those products have currently shipped, because we are releasing a whole bunch of products, or have been the last couple weeks, and we're going to do a complete rundown and let you know what products from that are now available in the field. You may not see them on kicker.com, but remember, like we've said in the past, any product we get in, we always supply our dealers first, whether that's online dealers who have an order in or a brick and mortar store. They get stuff first. We don't put it up for sale on kicker.com until they're all taken care of. So even though you may not see it on kicker.com, that doesn't mean it's not out in the field. And next week, we're going to do a full rundown on that. So if you're interested in that and you have questions about the new product, man, be sure you check us out next Tuesday. That's going to be a good time. Tomcat, we're all winners with Kicker. Oh, man. I appreciate that. You know, there's a lot of people that say that same thing, and you know what? We're humbled that you feel that way. We're just glad you're enjoying what we're putting together here, so thank you very much. William, any plans to make a 3-inch mid to add to the Q-Class components? Well, William, a lot of people have asked for that. Obviously, we came out with that 2 3/4, as I call it, a middler, and that's in our KS line. You can buy that as a separate piece in the KS line, or it also comes in the 6x9 two-way kit, which we don't have up here during this show. We change stuff here on the table all the time. But those are available in the KS line, and people who are using those absolutely love those. In fact, I'm just going to reach over here and grab this. This is the Snowman pod, and even though this is a slightly different version of that 2 3/4, this is the full functional pod that's got the 2.5-inch mid-range and the 3/4-inch tweeter all in a pod. You know, our guests that were on last week, which would have been Jimmy and Mike, Mike has a set of these in his wife's car. He got them put in and hooked up, and he says these sound absolutely wonderful in the car. So I know these aren't Q-Class, and I understand asking for Q-Class. It is our top-of-the-line product, but the KS version of it does sound fantastic and will go well even with existing Q-Class products. But we take every bit of feedback you guys provide us on this show. We take it to heart. And, you know, you're not the first person to ask if we're going to come out with a higher-end version of that 2 3/4 or 3-inch and put it in the Q line. And we're listening to you. You never know what's going to be coming down the pike. We are always developing new products. So good idea. Stay tuned. You know, when we have an idea what we're going to do, we'll announce it right here on the show. Ryan, lovely. You guys have great chemistry. It's a ton of fun to watch. I scheduled time to make the show now. Oh, man, thanks. You know, I know a lot of people have kind of put this into rotation. We joke about it. You know, if this would have been back in the 80s, this is like, man, I got to get home. It's Friday night and Night Rider's coming on. So I got to get my food, my meal, my pizza, whatever it is, and sit down and watch the show. And I know a lot of people look at this show that way. We're humbled by that. We sincerely appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Like we say, the swag we can give away every Tuesday night is just a small way that we can say thank you. And we're always looking for input, guys. Keep throwing it at us, whether it's in the chat feed here or more importantly, if you throw it out to social at kicker.com, we're always taking that information in. So, Mike, sure would love to get me some snowmen. The snowmen, just so you know, I know we're talking next week's show. We have just sent a huge batch of these out to our dealers. They are available in the field, so if you're looking to get a set of snowmen, contact your local Kicker dealer, brick and mortar, or if they don't have any, reach out to an online store that you like to shop from. There's Crutchfield, there's many others. But reach out. The snowmen have shipped. I can tell you they're in dealers' hands. Now, how long they'll have them, I don't know. It depends on how fast they sell them out. But they are in the field. So if you're looking for snowmen, go check them out. We just sent them out, I think about last week. I think it was middle of last week we got those in, released them, and sent them out. So go check them out. Anything else back there, JW? As I look up here on the screen. Sup all, Deviant. Hey, folks. A team snowmen for the win. Absolutely, Deviant. Those snowmen, they are a fantastic product, and you know it's easy to get better sound in your car because you're drilling a 3/4 hole, you're bolting them in. You can pivot and rotate that mid-range. You can pivot and rotate that tweeter and get just what you want. People who have used them, we have a minivan that we have in the back that we use as a test bed, one of our test beds here at Kicker, and it's got a set of those up in the dash. They sound fantastic. It's a great product. You need to get a hold of them if you like them. Dan O'Brien, thank you to Kip for the Base Wars live last night. Dan, it was my pleasure. Thank you for Billy and yourself and Jimmy for inviting me on. That was a good time. You got me at home on the couch, which is very unusual. I usually try to do everything from here in the studio. So last night was casual Kip night, and I had a drink in a koozie. I don't know what it was, but it was in a koozie. It was good. Kicker, what do you recommend for a mid-bass for the snowmen? Well, if you've got a 6x9 and you're going to go with the snowman, I would say to go ahead and get the KSS. I'm getting, is it 2269, 2269? I'm going to get the model number wrong. But we make a 6x9 mid-bass that comes with that 3/4 inch. That would be a good mid-bass driver to go with that. You could also couple it up with any KS component system that you already have, whether it's a 5 1/4 or a 6 1/2. If you got a component set, you could take and swap out that tweeter and go for the snowman to go into a full 3-way setup. The other cool thing you can do is you could actually use the factory speaker. So if you're just trying to get better imaging and staging up in your car and you just want to do that, you can keep the factory driver in the door. You'd want to end up putting just a low pass crossover on that driver to get the mid-range out of it. And then the snowmen come with passive crossovers as well. So you can set it up passively, or if you're going a little higher end, you're doing everything active, you can do it all active as well. So you could really use just about anything for a mid-bass driver. I would say something out of the KS line would be what I would recommend to use as a mid-bass driver because you need something that runs up a little bit higher. You could look at a Comp RT6, and some people use that. The Comp RT6 is probably not going to play up high enough to blend smoothly with the mid-range, but it'd be close. So if I was making a recommendation, I'd probably say look at something from the KS line or your factory speaker that you already have in the door. Do a low pass on it. That'd make a great mid-bass driver to go along with it as well, if that's where you're starting. So anything else there, JW? Wyatt Sound Lab. Can't wait for the SoloX line to come out. Any SoloX component set in the future? Well, here's what I can tell you about that, Wyatt. Obviously, the L7X, which is my friend here on my left side or right side on the camera for you, and the cutaway we always have here on the table, it's going to be a very high output subwoofer. It's going to be very potent. It's going to be capable of playing down into that 20 hertz range if that's what you want to do. If you want to float babies or bricks in the window, this driver is going to be the one that'll let you achieve that goal, you know. But obviously, you need power to go along with that, and you need some speakers to go along with that because you need to listen to your words, your mids, your highs, things like that. So the thing I can say is just remember, we've released this. This is the L7X driver, but it's part of the Solo X family. We say that a lot around here. So I would just keep your eye out for some other products to join that Solo X family. You know, you got to have everything. You got to have a motor and a transmission and wheels on the car to make it go down the street. So we get that. Stay tuned. There's going to be some cool stuff coming. KX amp replacements, Tech Fanatic. Tech Fanatic, here's the story on that. Yes. There is going to be a KX amplifier replacement coming. KX, a lot of people may or may not know how we work as a company, but we run a product for usually 3 to 4 years is its life cycle, and then it's time for an upgrade because whether it's new technology, a new way to do things on the board to make it more efficient, make it better, whatever it is, at about the 3 to 4 year mark, it makes sense to upgrade a product. And this past year, the beginning of this year, was the year that KX was supposed to be replaced. It was its natural year for it to happen. Well, unfortunately, also everything else happened, and everyone knows what that is. And so it has severely crippled everyone's ability to, for making existing product. It's made it really hard to roll out new product because you can't get parts. Transistors, capacitors, coils, chokes, microprocessors, controllers, pulse width modulated controllers, all that stuff has been very, very, very difficult to get. And a part of that leads to, there's a company called AKM that about a year ago now had a fire in their factory, burnt to the ground. And AKM is why you see like Ford having 30,000 plus trucks sitting over at the Louisville Speedway that they can't ship out and sell because some of the parts to finish the body computers or the electronic control modules were made by AKM and they can't get them anywhere else. So there is a replacement. It's going to be late to market because of all the part availability issues that we, along with every other manufacturer of anything that uses electronics, is going through right now. It's not just car audio, it's home audio, it's TVs, it's cars that have all the computers in them. It's kind of, again, my favorite phrase, it's kind of a dumpster fire out there right now. Understand that we as a company are dedicated to getting as many of these products out as quickly as we can with the resources that are available, and the KX replacement happens to be one of those. You'll never know when those are going to hit because it's going to be based on when we can get parts to actually build them, because I'll tell you, the KX replacement, it's already approved. I've already seen it. It's freaking gorgeous. You're going to love it. And when we can talk about it, when we get to the point that there's actually product we can put together to take to market, we're going to do an introduction of that new amplifier here right on KICKER UnMasked. So stay tuned. Honesty is the best policy, and that's really where all that sits, man. So just hang on. There is a replacement coming. It's just not right now. Bobby Hamilton, Kip, will the Key 200.4 recognize the Snowman and set the crossover correctly using it with the RS 6.5? The answer to that is yes. What you can do is, if you're going to do that, you got a couple different choices. You could use a Key 200.4 and use 2 channels of it to run the 6.5 and the other 2 channels to run the mid and the tweeter, and use the passive crossovers that come with the Snowman. That's option number 1. Option number 2 would be to take a Key 200.4 and put it on just the Snowman and then put another amplifier on your 6.5. Kind of depends on which way you want to go there. On either scenario, the Key amplifier will auto detect. It will set the crossover appropriately. If you do it over here, it'll know that channels 1 and 2 are on a mid-range and channel 3 and 4 on a tweeter. It'll set the crossover for that appropriately and then do the equalization. If you do it the other way, where it's passively running that and then the other half is running the 6.5 in the door, because it's running both those drivers, it'll see that it's a smaller driver and not just a tweeter, so it'll set the crossover appropriately. And then it'll EQ, and it'll do a good job. It's just, if you were to take a Key 200.4 by itself and put it on the Snowman, it's going to do an even better job because you're breaking that tweeter and that mid-range out into 2 separate channels. So you could look at one way. You could go with just 1 amp, set it up. That's your stepping stone. When you're ready to upgrade it even more, get another amplifier for your 6.5s, and then take that Key and put it on the tweeters on channels 3 and 4 and the mids on 1 and 2, and then you just take it to that next level, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helps you out there. Larry H., I know an 8-inch Solo X is not planned for the release, but how likely would an 8 be offered in the future? Larry, as they know around here, they got to be careful what they tell me, because it's not that I can't keep a secret. It's the people I tell. They won't keep their mouth shut. You get the joke. Here's what I'll say about that. We've confirmed we're going to do a 10, a 12, and a 15. And when we announced that we were doing that in the L7X, we had tons of people ask for a 6, an 8, and an 18. This is what I'll say. We are taking all of that input under advisement. We're looking at the viability of it, how many we could sell, does it make sense, how many people are asking for it. I love Tim. And all I can tell you on that is maybe. There's nothing confirmed for a 6 or an 8 or an 18, but a lot of you are asking for it. So just keep that in mind. Keep asking, keep the comments, because the more that ask tells us that there's possibly an interest, and that fuels us to be able to do something like that. So great question. Thank you for that. We got a ton of questions tonight. Justin Kirby, what's the Snowman? Oh, Justin, okay. Well, here, do it again. We call it the Snowman. It's kind of become, because it kind of looks like a snowman. And if you look at it from here on the side, this is a side view. I'll rotate it back around here to the front. And this is a 2.5-inch mid-range in a tuned pod with a 3/4 inch soft dome tweeter up on top. And when this is mounted in your car, hopefully you can see this on camera. Maybe I can get, Tim, I'm gonna make you work tonight. I'm actually gonna, can you get a close up from there? Can you get me on that? I'm gonna make Ernie and Tim work a little tonight. So as you can see, once you mount this, you can do it up on your A-pillar, you can do it on your door, you can do it up off the dash, wherever you're looking at. You can actually pivot the entire assembly, rotate. It'll rotate on itself and pivot. So you can actually aim that 2.5 inch wherever you want to. And once you get the mid-range where you want, you can actually clock the tweeter. So you can see I can rotate the tweeter to the left, I can bring it down, I can rotate it back to the top, I can rotate it the other direction. So I can actually clock that tweeter to whatever position I want. So they're basically universal for left or right. So if you want the tweeter down low, coming off the dash, you want to get it up a little bit higher, anything you want to do. And then once you get it positioned where you want, there's actually a rubber plug here in the back, and then you just pop that plug out, and there's an Allen key in there. You just tighten it down, and that locks this into place. Now, if you wanted to, you could just keep it kind of semi-tight like I've got here, and if in your car you wanted to play around with it, you could adjust that tweeter on the fly and do things like that if you want to, but if you want to lock it down, you can. There's a rubber plug in the back. We call it the Snowman. It's the 2 drivers in the housing. It comes with passive crossovers. It is a fantastic way to get staging, imaging, more sound, better sound up in the front of your car. Like I said, it works great. If you just want to add it to factory speaker to start with, you could just leave the 6.5 or the 6x9 down in the factory in the door, use it as your mid-bass driver, add these on board, and then you can always upgrade from there more. You could replace the speaker in the door, you could go with a single amplifier doing a bi-amp capability, or you could break it out towards a tri-amp, which just takes it to more control the next level. But we affectionately call this the Snowman, and that's where, if you look at it, it's because it kind of looks like a snowman. It's got a little bigger body at the bottom and a little small head on top. So that's the Snowman. Hopefully that answers your question there. So with that said, there are so many questions out there. I know JW keep throwing them up, but I'm looking at the clock, and we need to move on down the highway here so we can actually get to our guests who are coming live and join us in the studio. Keep in mind, if this is your first time on the show or your 32nd time on the show and you forgot, remember tonight's contest, kicker.com/UM Weekly. You got till 8:30 to enter that contest. And with that said, what I'd like to do is, JW, if you'll do me the honors, will you please bring on Mr. Bryan Schmidt from Mobile Solutions? Will you join us here in the studio, sir?
Hey, how are you, Kip? Thanks for having me.
Hey, you know, I'm feeling a lot better now. We got things going. I mean, we literally had an electronic failure, which is why we had difficulty getting the show started. So I'm just happy that we got things rolling. We got a show to go, because when a piece of gear dies, it's like, how do we get around this? So I'm just glad to be here.
Well, you look great. You look great.
Thank you very much. You know, you're here tonight for a couple things. First one is, you know, we've already teased them with it. And, you know, we had over 100,000 entries into the giveaway we're doing with you, which, by the way, thank you for working with us on this contest. I think it's been a fantastic contest. There's been a ton of interest, and I hope that you've gotten some good traction out of it as well.
It's been great. You guys are great partners, and I love the enthusiasm. And the expo is going to be just amazing. We're very excited.
I'm very excited for it to happen, and so just to keep everybody on the hook, we're going to announce the winner to this Master Tech Expo closer to the end of the show. So yeah, you're going to have to wait just a little longer, but to just recap, we've got the seat at the training that's going to be covered. We've got a round-trip airfare for one covered. We got your hotel room covered, and we're going to give you $350 cash, basically a stipend, that you can use for meals or drinks or whatever you need to do while you're there on the road and enjoying that. It is a fantastic prize package. And Bryan, I can't thank you enough for going in and doing this with us. It's just another way that we can show love back to these people who just are nuts about car audio.
That is going to be a fantastic trip. You guys are very generous.
Well, thank you. So we're going to keep them hanging on until the end of the show for that announcement, which you'll be here for. But having you back on the show for the announcement, I want to take this just a little bit further, because I know you've got all these wonderful tools to help make really custom looking installs. And so I thought, what better way than to maybe get some hands-on demo with you. And you've got a really good relationship with somebody who has a pretty high profile presence out in the YouTube land, and that's Mark from CAF. And I think you got him to join us tonight as well.
I did. I got him on with us. So we're very pretty excited about that. And yeah, you're right. We love tools. We love to just make things better and customize things and do it in a smart way, in a kind of a really efficient fashion. And yeah, we got a couple things we want to show you guys tonight. It's gonna be fun.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to let you take over the show right now. You tell me what you want to show us. You tell me when you want to bring Mark on board. You are the director. Tell us what we're doing.
All right. Well, hey, let's bring Mark on right away.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, and Mark, he's a good friend of mine, and he does an amazing job at explaining complicated things and making them look very simple. So if you guys haven't seen his YouTube channel, or some of his tutorials, they're awesome, and he just does a great way of starting and finishing. And so you kind of leave on this little journey of an experience of tool time, if you will, and you're more knowledgeable, and I think the content is amazing. So welcome, Mark. We're super happy to have you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Hey, real quick, Mark, I actually have been watching your channel for quite a long time. Consider me a fan, and it's a pleasure and an honor to have you on our show tonight and get to meet you. So thank you for being here.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad to be here. I mean, I grew up loving KICKER, so to be in the presence of you guys is awesome for me as well. So definitely excited to have a good show here.
Well, you gentlemen, I am sincere when I say I kind of left it in your hands, Bryan, to tell you. You tell us what you're going to show. So tell us what you want to do when you want to bring up that other camera. You're the director. Take it from here.
Okay, great, and thank you again, Kip. So, Mark and I, we've actually collaborated on quite a few different tools, and we thought it made sense to maybe talk about just a couple of them tonight. And like I said, one of the things we like to do is customize, and I know there's a ton of fans out there that love to customize as well, but we want to do it in a way where we're not spending hours and days and weeks even on a project. We want to do it so we get the most visual or cosmetic bang for the buck, if you will. And so I want to show you guys one of the recent tools that we've developed over the past few years. It's a gap gauge, and this is actually from Mark's design, kind of parallel with one of our bits. And if you can see this, and we can kind of scroll in on maybe a closer view. Let's go to our sky cam, and I can show you guys this. Let's flip over to our side camera. If you see this, it's called a gap gauge, and it's super cool. And if you look here, I have a piece of vinyl and carpet. Both of these are on here, and that way I can actually decide, hey, if I put these two together, I can determine what the offset is, how big a bit it is, and it's super cool. The bit we're going to use is this 32nd inch bit. So this cuts 1 32nd inch time. So for this cut, get that on the screen there, I would router this 3 times to get that gap. And these plastic gauges give us a cool kind of a gauge to measure our carpet and vinyl, and it makes it super cool.
Hey, Bryan, real quick, can you show one of the demo panels behind you just to give the guys an idea on the gap that we're talking about? Because this is one of the things that I learned from Bryan, that he always really stresses is you want to have these perfect transitions between the different pieces, and if you don't have that gap literally perfect, down to the 32nd of an inch, it really matters, and you'll see that those gaps there are nice and perfect, and that's where that measurement tool comes into play.
So that's aluminum, and then you got vinyl, and the gap gauge you would just run it one on each side. Or up here, this is plexiglass, or so on. So all these combinations of materials coming together, that gap gauge does a fantastic job paralleled with the router bit. So we just kind of want to paint the picture for some of the tools, and give you guys some more kind of food for thought.
I had to bring Tim. Definitely doesn't like being in front of the camera. He likes being behind the camera, but I had to pull him in here because his day job, he actually runs the special projects and install bay that we have here at KICKER, where we do all of our projects. And when you mentioned the tool you just did, what was hilarious, and I had to bring Tim on, he just ordered that exact tool to get into the shop.
Nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
So I had to bring Timmy over here and at least get him on screen to talk about that for a second.
What's up, Tim? All right, more tools of the trade here. This is a cool, it's called a template guide tray. And, we have OCD. I know you guys do too. And that's why we build these trays. So all these things have a home, and it correlates to, whatever size it is. So 5/8 and on down. And then all the bits kind of go along with it. So the 1/8 inch, 3/16 inch, 1/4 inch bit. And if you can see the profiles on that as well, it makes a big difference. And these are some of the bits that we're going to use tonight on our actual live panel. But this is a really cool tray, and it's not new, but it's kind of new. It's a new spin on it, and we like this a lot because I'm going to show you what you can do with this. Is you can take and do some really cool inlays with this. So let's look at kind of this side, and like I said, I'm going to do this live in just a second. But as you see these cuts in here, that's a V bit that has a 90-degree bottom on it, and that gives you a really cool edge for the vinyl to tuck into. And then that is that 1/8 inch bit for that vinyl and carpet that we just showed you guys. So it just tucks right in there, and I can kind of give you a better visual here. It just tucks in that channel on each side with some glue, That's how we're getting that line. So you go from that to that.
Wow.
With just those bits. And I know it's kind of hard to see. There's some shadowing, but it's super cool. You can see that line. And then look, it's all held on with magnets. And, there's nothing more impressive than pulling your trunk apart and the whole thing's covered with magnets. We just love that click. When it clicks.
Give them the click.
Yeah, here's the click. You can get it lined up and then just click and everything. It's got the opposing magnets here. Click.
Well, now we know why there's a Neo shortage. It's right there.
Yeah. and then the top too. So these all just snap, and I mean they have a lot of holding force. Same with this. So we want to kind of build a part of this little panel. This doesn't fit any vehicle, but it demonstrates what can be done. So if you have, this on the show floor for you dealers, or if you're building your trunk, this is a great example of what can be done. Or if you wanted to have maybe a portion of your car at a show and you have this off to the side, just like, hey man, this is how my trunk comes together. I actually have a little test panel. People dig it. It's really cool. It's a powerful tool. But just imagine this on a larger scale. If it was a full-size trunk, your wheel well would be here on the sides. So,
real quick, Bryan, a question from SJC Audio. He's asking that tray you just showed. He says, do you guys sell the trays by themselves?
We do. So we have universal trays. We have all kinds of, you can buy the tray a la carte. It's really, really cool. Before, I just kind of want to paint the picture of all of our tools before we actually do the demo, because that makes more sense. Now, this is in the next tool that we like to show, and we get a ton of questions on magnets, okay? And if you guys know, if you've ever drilled, magnets in,
when that comes back in stock.
It is in stock. It is in stock. It just came in stock.
You heard him.
Yeah. So these are special. These bits are actually a special size. They're undersized because we want to be able to tap these in with compression. So what that means is you're going to take this. It's a puck, and then we take the magnets. I'm going to grab a couple tools. We're trying to use the sky cam so you guys can see up close. And, it never fails. You get one in backwards or whatever. Well, this has, and I'm going to get close here, this has a north and a south orientation. So you can put it on that side or this side. And what that does is it allows you to take this and you put it over your magnetic hole on the back side, and then you can just take your hammer, your rubber mallet, and then you just tap, tap, tap. But all these holes are undersized just enough so that magnet actually has compression. You don't even have to use adhesion. I would recommend do a little dot of CA glue on the bottom so that magnet never comes out. But the little puck is so nice to just tap it in, and then you have the perfect drill bit. That it's a 4-Norster bit, so it puts a flat bottom on there, and it just puts it in perfectly. So this is called our magnet fitment tray, and it's really cool. Mark and I, we worked on this.
Yeah, again, stressing the fact that those are custom Forstner bits that are undersized, because if you use a normal sized one, the magnets have a tendency to fall right out. So they get nice and tight with that. Hey, Bryan, where does that QR code link to?
Yeah, I was just going to tell Kip about this. This is for you, Kip. So you just take your phone over that, and then it pops up a little video, tells you how to use it. Perfect.
It must be popular because Tim's sitting here drooling because heard him say this is one of the things he was wanting to get in the shop, and now that they're back, I think he's probably go off camera and go order it right now.
It is back.
Yeah,
it is back in stock. These are very, very cool, and we just like to show that because that's how all these panels are held together, is with those cool magnets. So, and we always get the question, how many magnets? Well, that's really up to you. Each one is about 7 pounds of holding force, so that's a lot.
Kind of make your choice based on what you're going to do.
Yeah, it depends on how much bass you got, I guess, if you're worried about it rattling off there. So, hey, let's actually make some dust. What do you guys say?
You know what? When you said we could actually do a demo live and make some dust, I was excited, so let's do it.
It's man glitter.
Man. All right, so now that we've kind of built the case for what we're trying to do here, we've had a lot of people, ask us, hey, what is this new tool that you guys have? And this is a set of cool arcs. So we've always had these arc templates for many years, but now we actually made the arcs with this channel in it. And so that channel is what puts these curved lines on here. Does that look familiar? So
there
you go. It looks familiar because this channel rides in here. See that? That's a 5/8 bushing, and then you can put whatever bit you want inside there. The channel rides in here. It slides on there, and it just makes this cool little track for us to guide this bit on. So we're going to take these little side panels that would kind of be your side panel for an enclosure. I've pre-taped the back, and notice I've taped the whole thing. Be very generous with that 2-sided tape.
Right.
Don't go skimpy on it because it will vibrate. It will try to move and slide on you. And if you look at the geometry of these, they have numbers on them. Before I stick it down, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. Is 30, 28, and so on. It goes up and down. What the 30 means is that's the radius. So that's a 60-inch circle is what we're looking at. If we laid this out in a continuous circle, it'd be 60 inches or 28 or so on. So you could just take the radius and times it by 2, and that tells you. But what makes it really cool is the negative of this fits the positive of that, and that's what's cool is you can just stack these up and cascade them together, and it makes a really cool design. So let's just lay this out. Let's get our tape going here. And if you guys can see it in our sky cam.
Oh, yeah, we can see it's good. That looks great.
Good. I'd love to hear some comments on the sky cam. We're always trying to make our demos better. This is about 4 times harder to do on this type of camera live setup than just doing it live.
Sure, absolutely.
So I'm going to just set these two like this, and I'll show you. Tape this down. This is taped to my bench. Now, this whole table is a downdraft sanding table, okay? You can get a fancy one like that, or we actually make something super cool. And if you can see this is perfect for you guys, for any shop, really. This fits on a Brute garbage can, and it has geometry, so it's an actual downdraft sanding table. Look at the bottom of it. That fits on that Home Depot Brute garbage can here. You hook up your shop vac. You can do a single or a double, and it's a hollow cavity on the inside there. So we call this Oscar. So everybody meet Oscar, like Oscar the Grouch right there.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You said Oscar, I'm thinking Sesame Street.
Yep. And it works. It's just nice because you're already using that garbage can to drill on and cut on. Why not make it a workbench? Commit to it. And we like to use those nice wheels so it'll roll around. It's super cool. So this is a nice piece, and it's a new product for this year. Just like you guys, Kip, we've been able to have a ton of free time where we've been able to do R&D and build new products. And really, Mark and I have been able to collaborate on a lot of stuff. And hey, we got to thank the pandemic for all these new tools that we're coming out with, because we have the time to really think through and make some clever, devices.
While you're setting up there, Bryan, to actually do this, question for you, since you just said what you did, do you find that because of working with Mark and him doing, these installs and going into the depth that he does he come up with ideas then for you to create a tool to make it easier?
Oh, absolutely. We kind of feed off each other, and we just have a good time.
We talk like every day. We're always collaborating on stuff for sure. So.
It's fun, and we're just a bunch of kids playing with toys. That's it. So if you guys haven't seen any, I'm sure there's some Makita fans in Milwaukee and DeWalt. They're all good. Makita was the first to kind of come out with this, and I already have the battery system for this, but they're all good. This is what's super cool is you put that template guide right on here. It fits on here, and make sure you tighten that collet really tight. And the key thing is with the Makita, as long as you're pulling it towards you, you're going in the correct direction. So what I mean by that is I'm going to set it on here, and if I pull it towards me, that is the correct direction. So if you push, it's going to want to pull away from you. You want to go against the bit. So let's turn it on, and I'll get my dust collection on. Pretty smooth.
Bryan, you're running that V-nose bit, right?
Yeah. So this is called the flat V-nose. It's a V bit, and we carry this bit, but it's flat at the bottom, and that's by design so the vinyl will tuck in there really nicely. So I want to change it up a little bit. Mark and I thought of an idea to show you guys. That's a continuous cut that goes all the way end to end. What if we want to stop it and make some designs in the middle, like a truck box or something? So
What do we do?
So you're gonna just take. You could use a block of wood or another template, and let's just set this right here, and we're gonna set it and two-side tape this on here, and that we're gonna just make this come in and stop. And if we wanted to have a whole bunch of them cascade, you could do that as well. It's super easy to do, and it's not a problem at all. So let's just do the same thing again, and I'll show you how we can stop it. Make sure our dust collection's on. Wait till that thing stops spinning before you lift it up. And I always like to start it while it's in here. If you have that on and you try to start it down there, you might have a little bit of an issue.
Right, sure, it makes total sense. But it obviously, see what you're showing there, you can obviously lay spacers or other guides as you're doing and create your offsets however you want and do, like you said, a start a line, stop a line, however you want.
Mm-hmm. Now, one last thing I'll point out here before we pull this off is that's an 1/8" bit. And we decided that 1/8" bit based off of that gap guide. That's why I showed it in the beginning. That 1/8" is perfect for our vinyl and carpet. So we could actually just tuck it and do one panel. So if I want to have that carpet blind right there, these are just design elements. They're kind of a debossing, if you will. But this, I could do a material change and do carpet to vinyl. And what Mark's holding it up right there in that gap. So we just don't, when you're getting out cans of Bondo and you're making all this mess and you're sanding for days, you lose money, and it just takes time. I like to have everything all in one piece, and it makes it super easy. So you're gonna peel this off. There's your tape. You can just peel that up. But there's your super clean lines. That would be hard to do if you held it, just by hand. Or
not just hard. I'll go with next to impossible.
So yeah, it's kind of cool, and it just gives you an idea of, if you look at some of these guys doing cool truck boxes and stuff, that's how we're making the stop. Is we're just putting a line there, and you just have to compensate from the bushing to the edge of the outside diameter of that router. You're going to have that much distance, but it's a really, really cool way to do this. And I'll go back to that finished panel again, and we just kind of pull this out of the oven, if you will, but I want you to look at that carpet line. That is just tucked in there. We glued on one side, and then we glue the other side, at, 2 different sprays on the glue, and then just tuck it in there with a tuck tool. Here's or a right angle pick. These are kind of my preference tools right here. This tuck tool like this, or 90-degree angle tuck, and you just run that in there, and it works super good. And then you just use this, and you can press down that channel, and look how nice. Got a little dusty, but yeah, what do you guys think?
I think it's amazing myself.
Yeah, you gotta love those transition lines.
Transition lines,
yeah.
One panel, no Bondo, and I just think it's a smart way to build, all with a handheld router. So.
Now, Mark, let me ask you a question on this. Obviously, looking at this where you can, build your panels, have your transition lines, and using neo magnets, I'm going to assume from your perspective, it makes it a whole lot easier to put the system not only together, but take it back apart for service.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime you're building a system and designing it, you want to be thinking about serviceability, being able to access all your fuse blocks and the different adjustments on the amplifiers, or even being able to take the subwoofers in and out if you're building some sort of beauty panel over the top of everything. So yeah, for sure, being able to take the magnets off quickly is important. And I've talked about those magnets before in some of the videos, and a comment that comes up pretty often is, well, doesn't that stuff all vibrate? And I mean, of course, if you have a system that has 20,000 hertz or 20,000 watts where everything is vibrating, like, of course, at that point, you're going to have some vibration. But those magnets are really, really strong. Like Bryan said, each one is what, 7 pounds, Bryan? So,
yeah.
Like, if you have 10 of them on there, that's literally 70 pounds of holding force on there. So you can really build them up and get it to hold together pretty well. So,
well, you're doing a good job when you get Jesse chiming in and says, I'm going to have to redo my install after watching this. Thanks a lot.
Another cool thing real quick to remember with the magnets is what you could do is you could have like a smaller panel that is held on by the magnets, and then underneath that panel you could have some stronger holding with like screws or bolts or whatever. Again, it all goes into the design of everything, but
yeah, this is I think I'm enjoying this just as much as the people tuned in and watching. This is really cool stuff, guys.
Yeah, it's fun. We just try to make it fun and
arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts. That's it for sure. Now this is
glitter.
Man glitter is right. You need a lot of that. Now this is a different device. This is something that we just came out about a month ago, and it's a guide, and it has a step on there, the same height as that bushing, and the idea with this is so we can be on the outside of any shape. And you can see how safe it is. It's got this big handle. The problem is that when you don't have this guide here, the router likes to tip over or fall off the edge. And now it just makes it so nice. So we do have these for all the major brands, like I mentioned. It just makes it so nice. We love these little cordless routers. They're $100 to maybe $200, but you can do so much with them and dress up that cool trim panel, door panel, console even. And just add these cool little designs to it so it's not a flat panel, and you can change from a vinyl to a carpet to whatever material, even suede. It's nice. We'll do one more cut for you guys. How's that?
No, go ahead. And I'll have to admit, I am a Makita tool guy. I have a lot of Makita tools in my own repertoire. And I got to say, I don't have this router, but I'm going to now.
Yeah, that router is awesome. I love that thing.
It is cool.
Hey, Brent, if you're watching, I'm going to order a router tomorrow.
All right, so one of the things that we like to talk about is the depth. I'm going to try to get this right here. 1/8 of an inch or less is what I'd recommend. If you go too deep of a cut, that actually can cause you some havoc and problems. So you don't need a lot. An 1/8 is actually a lot in this case. So just slow and steady, give you nice clean lines. You could actually come back and do one in the center. Why not? Huh? We'll just do it real quick, and you just keep adding lines to your panel and whatever you think is cool. And there's your transition. That's it. Let's flip this over.
Bryan, can you show one of the straights too?
That was it. Oh.
Can you hear me?
I don't. Go ahead, Mark.
Bryan, can you show one of the after you make that cut? Can you show one of the straight guides as well? One of the straight guides, just on camera so they can see it, because everything so far has been an arc.
Oh, I see. Yep. Copy that.
Obviously, with you guys taking control and doing a lot of the show here tonight, I'm going through the comment feed, and I got to tell you, everyone tuned in and watching, they are just blown away with what you're showing here. They love the demo and what you're doing here, just so you know.
Cool.
Yeah, we've got some fans of the Skycam as well.
Yeah, lots of that.
Okay, so this set comes with 8 arcs like this, and then 3 shorties or straight ones, a short one, a medium, and a long, huge one. But let's just say we wanted to have a transition here of that carpet or whatever. We could just set this down, and there's your straight cut, and then I could come in with that 1/8 inch bit, same thing. It's just the same, but a different bit. You notice I have 3. That's not by accident. My wife's like, why do you need 3? And I'm like, because I save a lot of time.
Because it's
you don't have to change out bits all the time.
Yeah, so it's just like multiple router tables or anything else. Having more is going to help you. So let's turn our dust collection on.
Using that there, Tin Bender says, I'm going to have to retire Grandpa's router. Yeah, this is definitely not Grandpa's router right here.
There you go. And so we just did an 1/8 inch cut. Now how about this? Now let's just go back over it and actually do a V cut right on top of that, so you could make that transition actually bevel down There you go.
Just a reminder, though, even if you do have Grandpa's router, you can definitely still do this. You don't have to have the new fancy, smaller routers, because a lot of these smaller bits that he's using, they're all the 1/4-inch shank, which is like the common shank size for, even some of the more inexpensive routers out there. So you can definitely do this process no matter what you have, which is cool.
Well, we got Big D chiming in from Williston Audio Labs. Great to see you on here tonight, Big D. He says Christmas list equals easy now. Yeah. this is like the QVC HSN 12-volt man shopping show going on right now.
Hey, it's just fun stuff. So I want to point this out. This is a cool transition here. Pardon me blowing this dust out, but I want to show this. If you guys can see that. So that's a cool transition if you wanted to do vinyl here and carpet here, but it has a bevel as it sinks down in there. So that's kind of a trick way to do it. So you run 2 bits, the 1/8-inch slot and that V bit, and then you can just clean it up, and it's just a nice little transition. You're making maybe a trim panel in the rear trunk of a car, the carpet's on the bottom. This is a trim around the top, and it just adds so much dimension to it. But you're not bondoing, you're not doing fiberglass. It's just making a nice panel that has some cool transition to it, and that's it.
There's a comment here in the feed from Shane and Andrea Bruce, and he says, I think he needs to freehand some designs. And I don't know about you, I've tried to do freehanding with a router. I don't recommend it, but I guess a point I would make is with these tools that you've got, as long as you've got the tools and you take the time to lay it out, you could create some designs that are very accurate that have that freehand look. You could just use these tools in different ways.
Sure.
Yeah.
You could make a template freehand and then use the router to follow the template that was made freehand. 100%.
There you go. That was an interesting comment that could go both ways. I thought it'd be interesting to bring that one up on the screen and kind of address that, because there's a lot of the designs I've seen come out of guys who've taken your class or work you guys do there, and sometimes it looks freehand because of the smooth flowing arcs and everything, but really what it is, it's these tools that let you get that kind of precision that it has that art look to it.
For sure. Yeah. You guys can, if you want to, we can close out the Skycam and come back to our main screen here.
JW, take the Skycam away, sir. There he goes. Hey, there's the forward-facing cam.
Look at all this man glitter.
Yeah, someone made a comment. You're doing all that. Said that looks like $300 worth of wood. By today's prices, it might be.
Maybe. Yeah. So, no, it's cool stuff.
It is really cool stuff. I mean, Bryan, I can't thank you enough for putting together a live demo like this. I mean, I'm just, like I said, I spent a lot of time trying to watch the comments in the comment section over here and bring up the ones that are really relevant. But people are digging what you've put together tonight. And, I guess what I'd ask is that, Mark, you obviously use these tools a lot. Mm-hmm. And then I'm not trying to put Bryan away, but I'm trying to ask you a question. I'm not trying to put either one of you on the spot, but from your perspective, if you had to say, what's the top 5 tools? If there's 5 tools that you just have to get from Mobile Solutions to do creative things like this, and you obviously do this a lot with the content you create, what would be the 5 tools you'd recommend, Mark?
Yeah, for sure. So number 1, Rob mentioned it earlier. Hi-Fi Vega mentioned it earlier, the Eco Tray, and I conveniently have one right here to show you guys. So Bryan was talking a little bit earlier about, Mobile Solutions has several different router bit trays, and mine's a little dusty because it gets use all the time, but this is the Eco Tray, and I recommend this the most often because, a lot of people that are watching my channel are just getting started into custom car audio, and they're looking for the most bang for their buck router bit kit, and this is it right here. You can see it has 4 of the different main bits. So it's got a round over bit, which allows you to do some edge profiling. So you can, make the edges of pieces have that nice round over profile. Kind of the same thing with the chamfer bit there, only it's a straight edge instead. And then with the flush trim bit and the rabbit bit, the flush trim bit allows you to copy a profile So Bryan has a whole line of templates that he sells, so you can completely copy each of those different profiles to make a different shaped piece of wood using the flush trim bit. But what's cool about having both the rabbiting bit and the flush trim bit, along with all these bearings, is it gives you a lot of flexibility to control like the offset. So you can enlarge a shape or you could shrink a shape using the rabbiting bit. There's just a lot of different flexibility with this kit. You can really do actually quite a bit with just this kit. And the other thing that I really like about this, I mentioned, having Grandpa's router earlier, a lot of those entry level routers will have a 1/4 inch shank, and you'll notice that every single bit in this kit is 1/4 inch shank. So definitely a great starting point right here.
Mark, let's do that. Let's do a sale on that. What do you think?
I'm down. Let's do it.
What's our coupon code?
Grandpa's router.
Grandpa's router. Got it. Is that with or without an apostrophe?
You guys put in Grandpa's router, and we're gonna give you a smoking deal on the Eco Tray. Let's do that.
Grandpa's router.
Grandpa's router. So let me make sure. So GRANDPASROUTER. One word. Grandpa's router.
Yes. And later, if somebody else is talking, I better make sure that the website will let me do that. But I think it will. So we can confirm that later in the show. But yeah, Grandpa's router.
So Grandpa's router. So everyone tuned in, if you want to get a deal on that, write down Grandpa's router. Go hit Mobile Solutions after the show. Use that code, and you're going to get some kind of a smoking deal apparently. So wow, I didn't even know that was coming. So thanks, guys.
You bet. Yeah, we'll make it so the Eco Tray is on the homepage too, so that it's nice and easy to find.
So before we get to number 4 in your top 5 list, Mark, I wanted to bring this up. How much is the Oscar? So since you showed the Oscar over there, Bryan, how much is that?
I think we have it for $159. $159. Yeah. So it's a cool piece.
That's correct.
Yep. So
it's on sale.
It's on sale tonight. All these tools, every single tool we're showing, we're going to give you a discount with just Grandpa's router. How's that? Okay. So
Grandpa's router for the win.
So you got to watch to know that. You're never going to guess that.
Hey, Bill, if you can real quick, will you put up the link to Mobile Solutions and put Grandpa's router so we can see how it's spelled and throw it into the banner feed if you can? Thank you, sir. Bill can get that to happen.
What's number 3, Mark? I'm curious.
Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the smart templates, the shaped templates. I don't know if that's something that you guys could pull up real quick, just so we have it on screen, something visually to see. But like I was mentioning, so Bryan has a full line of templates that already have a pre-existing shape. And what's nice about them is because they expand upon the shape, and like the perimeter of them basically gets larger with each consecutive shape going out. It just gives you like a lot of flexibility to kind of, like if you're looking at a design, there we go, Bryan's got one. So
you got it? Okay.
There we go. So let's say
this is how they get shipped.
Yeah. So let's say you're making a subwoofer enclosure and you want to have a nice grill in front of it and kind of a beauty panel, hiding around the outside of the subs there. You have that shape to work with. And then the other thing that I really like, because as an engineer, I get into like the nitty gritty details, is every single one of those gaps between each of the shapes is 3/16 of an inch. And you always hear me talking about, the gap. The gap is so important to getting that like perfect, pristine look. Like if the gap isn't right, your eye is going to be drawn to it immediately and you're going to be like, that doesn't look good. But if the gap is perfect, then people are like, holy cow, you made that? Like, you didn't buy that, you actually made that. That's what is like, the icing on the cake. So with all those gaps being that consistent 3/16 of an inch, you can shrink the gap when you are making the pieces, or you can expand that gap to be larger and account for your different material sizes. So that goes back to, what I was talking about with the Eco Tray and having these different router bearings. And I know this is kind of a lot, but if you guys want to check out the channel and kind of get more of an in-depth explanation, I definitely explain more about how to actually do each of those steps. But yeah,
I went shopping. He's talking about this gap right there. That's 3/16 here.
Yep.
And then here it is routed out. Okay, and then there's your lines that we just made with that straight cutter and that flat.
And at that point, you've probably shrunk the gap because you're prepping for wrapping it, correct?
Yep. And then, like 20 minutes later, boom.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so it's so easy, right?
Yeah. And that's the Challenger kit right there. So you can just get an idea how, you can make something really cool looking really quickly.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that I like to recommend to people that are new too is start with the shaped templates, because then it gives you a feel for like the overall process of like paying attention to the gaps and selecting your materials and kind of like planning for how things are going to actually hold together, whether it be magnets or you're going to hide some different fasteners with, a magnet panel in front of them. Once you get a feel for how that process goes, then you can really start expanding more into making your own custom shapes, which is where the arcs and some of the straight templates come more into play. Make sense?
Makes total sense. And so if that interests you as well, just Grandpa's Router. You got to hit Mobile Solutions after the show, and Grandpa's Router is going to put some cash back in your pocket. You get some of these great tools. So that takes us through number 3. What's number 2, Mark?
So number 2, I'm going to say the Animal Router Shield System. Do you have one of those handy, Brian?
We do, and we gave one away last week.
Oh, that's right.
We did.
Or last episode with you guys.
Yeah,
Correct.
Last time you guys were on.
Yeah.
Can you grab one real quick? So
I got it.
So one of the first reasons I recommend this is when you're learning to use the router, it's one thing to have a little router bit like this in there, but when you get into some of these bigger shaping bits that are a lot larger and they literally sound like a helicopter when they're spinning up, it can be a little intimidating, and
Yes.
Safety is always paramount. A router, it can get away from you very quickly. If it grabs a piece and you're not prepared for it, it can rip it out of your hands or rip your hand into the router bit, which is obviously never a fun day. So one of the first reasons I really recommend the router shield that he's showing there is, one, you can see your hands are, they're guarded, they're away from the bit, and you have total control over that piece. And when you're first learning to use the router, it just gives you a much better feel for like how much pressure you're needing to apply to the piece when you're feeding it into the bit. Just again, having that total safety and control. And then the other thing that's really cool about the Animal is you'll notice right now, Brian kind of has the main platform of it there on an angle. And the reason for that is he has it set up so that he can cut an angle to that speaker ring. So it's one thing to make a speaker ring, but it's a total another level if you can add an angle to that surface that the speaker mounts on. Now you can have the speaker more on axis. It just gives you a lot of additional flexibility and functionality for your designs. And you can even take it a step further. You can attach the arcs to the sides, those side plates. You want to just give kind of a visual representation of that?
Yeah. So this is already hooked up, but you could mount this to the side or the top.
And then it allows you to rock that whole surface back and forth, so you can transfer a concave cut to the outside of a piece.
I have to tell you, that piece right there, now it's been quite a few years ago and you won't see it on camera, but this thumb pad on my right thumb was basically removed with a router. And the thing about it is, I don't care how careful you are, mistakes happen. And when they do, you can get some serious damage to a body part. The thing I like about that is, besides the safety aspect, is control. I mean, if you're working on a piece, you've got that kind of handhold on it, you can control that piece when you've got that bit down there flying around at those tens of thousands of RPMs. It's definitely the safe and control way to do it. I'm an advocate of that because this hurt.
Yeah. Well, especially too, if you're making something really small, like let's say you're doing a little trim panel around a little, A-pillar speaker or something like that, a really small piece like that, it's hard to have a bunch of, surface area control with your fingers. Whereas if you're attaching it to that acrylic with a bunch of template tape, then you have so much more control. It's not going to wander on you. You're not going to destroy your piece, which, that's always a bummer too. So a lot of benefits there for sure.
So that brings us down to number 1. What's your number 1 out of top 5 tools that you would say you have in your repertoire?
I think we kind of went backwards there because my number one is definitely the Eco Tray, but
okay.
So, but number five, if we will,
number five. Okay.
The fifth group of things that I would definitely recommend is anything from the dust management line. So on the website, there's several different things. One is the Oscar. So Bryan already touched on that earlier. You know, the Oscar sits up above a garbage can. Bryan, do you have a dust bucket you could show? The other thing. And this is for more of the advanced guys that are kind of, investing in a total system, like the gentleman you introduced earlier. So the dust bucket is one thing that can go underneath the router table, and that allows you to have a dust collector attached to it, and it's going to completely suck all that dust down through the router table, away, out of the way. It's not man glittering the whole place up. You're not breathing it all day. So
I don't have any.
You don't have one? Okay.
I don't, not to show, but yeah.
They can check it out on the site. But can you just point to the router table real quick, just so they understand?
Yeah, so it's basically a cavity that goes underneath here. It's metal, and it has acrylic front and back. And on this one, we have pneumatic gates. It's IVAC gates on this one. So when you turn this on, the gate opens up, it goes through the dust bucket, and all of the dust comes out. So it's pretty cool.
It's pretty fancy. You're not you're literally just turning on the router. It's not like you're having to turn on an additional switch to open up the blast gate. It does it all automatically. And then the other thing that's part of that line is the dust mite, which Bryan has pulled out there. And can you show the bottom real quick, Bryan? So on the bottom, that
this
shape
right on.
Yeah, it matches perfect to the same cutout size for your router table, so you can drop that thing right in, and then now you have like a multi-purpose table. So especially for a lot of us that have smaller shops, Bryan has that huge dust table to his left, our right on the screen right now. I can't fit a huge dust table like that in my shop. So
sure.
In the kitchen, it's not going to fit next to the dishwasher and everything. So.
Hey, honey, I need to get rid of your dishwasher because I got an idea.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is I want to put in a dust collection system, and you can wash the dishes by hand. What do you think, dear?
Yeah, it won't go over too well.
No.
So it's just nice to have that flexibility. You can throw that on there and make use of your existing router table spot.
So not necessarily top five in order, because you said your number one was really the Eco Tray, but the top five tools ends up with the dust collection, which I agree. Dust is something you got to deal with if you're working with wood, but I think the real safety factor from all this is the more of it you can control, you don't want to breathe it, and that's a serious issue. So if you can control that dust, keep it collected, and keep it from getting into the air, and then you breathe it into your lungs, that is a win-win. I couldn't agree more.
It's kind of a quality of life improvement too. Like when you can spend all day working and you're not just completely covered with dust at the end of the day. And I mean, if you've done this before, you're probably familiar with the MDF boogers.
Oh yeah, those are good.
So if you could avoid those, it's always a good time.
Formaldehyde, wood glue, MDF dust, and little metal shavings all form together in one delicious ecstasy. Yes, those are great.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I don't want to cut you off, Bryan, but real quick, there is a question in the feed that I thought was pretty cool to ask. And if you don't want to answer, Mark, don't feel like you're on the spot. But Andy McGill, who is a big Kicker fan over here and runs the Kicker Fan Club, he says, hey, I need to know, does Mark have a daily system? And if so, what does it consist of? And understand, if you do, it doesn't matter what brand it is, you can say it. Just because this is Kicker Unmasked doesn't mean you can't say the brand. So if you want to answer that, go for it.
I mean... Like most car audio guys, I feel like the daily system changes pretty often.
Yeah.
You're constantly switching stuff in and out. But I mean, most of them have been on the channel. The latest one has been the Jeep. You sure you don't mind?
Okay. Seriously, we don't mind at all.
Okay, yeah. So in the Jeep did a full three-way set of JL Audio C7s up front. Sure. So, the tweeter, the 3.5, and the mid-bass driver, and then a pair of the shallow mount subwoofers in the back, and that's in the Jeep Wrangler. So that's the latest daily. It's actually my wife's vehicle too. So I should say that's her main daily. So I know she's watching right now. So shout out to her. She loves the system. So she's a bass head just like us. Loves listening to the jams and cranking it. So.
And for everyone who's tuned in, I know Bill's put this into the chat feed, but I'm just going to throw it up here real quick. Here's the link if you want to get to Mobile Solutions. If you don't know already, it's www, obviously, mobilesolutions-usa.com. And once you get there, throw whatever you want into your shopping cart because it sounds like Christmas is early, thanks to Papa Mark and Grandpa Bryan over there. And the code is Grandpa's Router, one word, GRANDPASROUTER. I feel like I'm trying to say the Mickey Mouse Club. But with that said, that's a fantastic offer for you guys to offer up, Bryan. I can't say thank you enough for doing that. That's really cool that people who tune into UnMasked can take advantage of a deal on that, not just on one product, but hey, let's go shop.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, thank you guys for having us. It's been a lot of fun. So, we just try to show some cool stuff quickly and have some fun with it.
High Five Vega. Robert, everybody knows that character. He says, oh no, I'm about to spend the kids' Christmas money. So I don't think we feel that bad about it, Robert. Just go spend it. You can make some more. So we've got the rundown from Mark on, what he thinks are the top 5 tools for him on a daily basis. Is there any hole there that you want to throw into that mix, Bryan, that you think would add on top of that? I mean, of course, the real answer from anyone who does what you do is you need all of them. But out of that 5, is there anything that you feel like here's the extra one that I think needs to go in that list?
Well, there are a couple bits that really are game changers. And this is probably one of our favorites. I know Mark likes this one too. But this is a cool set. And this is our smart pattern system right here. It has a gigantic. Let's go to the Skycam and I'll just switch it over.
Sure, absolutely. JW, bring up the Skycam.
So this has this massive router bit. It's called a rabbit bit, and that's 1 1/8 inch from the cutter to the bearing. So from here to here, that's 1 1/8 inch, and that's by design. It has 2 bearings, and then we've got this guy right here. It's a quad bearing. And so there's actually a really cool, Mark's got a video and we have an animated video on how this works. And what that does is it builds custom rings kind of paralleled with our smart frame system. So if we'll switch back to our main cam here.
Come on back to the main cam. There you go, JW. Thank you, sir.
So the idea is you actually take this and router the inside of this out with that 1/4 inch spiral bit like this. And then take that piece and and it's even labeled. It says step 1, step 2, step 3, and it just walks you through the bits. And the video is super cool. And then you come back in, rabbit it, and then last thing you do is drill it and flush trim it. And basically, that's how all of these super cool panels are made. That's a 5-sided shape. But that is how this was made right here. So we build that wall thickness with this kit right here. So the SFS kit and the smart pattern system is key. You can build anything with it. Any ring, any shape. That's why we love it. I teach it in all of our classes. It's awesome.
I definitely recommend looking at that animation video Bryan's referencing, because it's one of those things, like, it's hard to understand when you kind of explain it, but when you see that animation, you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Can you show real quick on the SFS how it articulates? Like if you adjust the...
For sure. So let's loosen this up. And this, it has this pivot point, so we'll actually spin it around so you can see. This is why it's so cool, is because the flexibility of it is awesome. And it has a top and a bottom rail. The bottom rail has all the holes, and the top is adjustable, so you can adjust it and then lock it into place. And you could see, so this has a 4-sided shape. So you can mount the router directly to the animal. I'm just reading comments there. If you want to, it is possible. We are working on a newer piece just for that. So yeah, there's your SFS kit.
And then you may have just answered it, Bill asking, does the router mount directly to the animal? And I guess you just answered that.
You can do that, and I would recommend a smaller one of these guys. I mean, you can get the bigger, it's just, it might not be as stable, but yes, you can do that for sure.
Hey, Ryan, if y'all don't see me on the next show, it's because the wife killed me for spending all of the money. Ryan, that wasn't our goal, and I didn't even know that Mark and Bryan were going to offer up some kind of a discount code tonight. That was really impromptu and really kind of you guys to do that for the viewers. I sure appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, I saw a comment in there, Kip, and it was about a guy. He said, I set up my router table for my left and right, or I router one door panel, and then I go to router the second one, and I changed all the bits out. And our advice is this: when you do your door panels, you want to two-side tape them. These are both lefts or both rights, but two-side your left and your right together, and do all your router work on both sides, and then peel them apart while the bits are set up. So you want to do left and right at the same time, always, or all four doors at the same time. So your bit height stays the same, because it's a common mistake. And I know I did it my first time. Is I got all excited and I did my first door, and then I went to go do the second door, and I had to go through the whole process again. So make sure that you do all the doors at the same time. And here's another tip: is I would probably do the passenger door first before you do your driver's door. Why? It's because you're going to do all your experimenting on that passenger door. So when you do your driver's door, it's perfect. And,
so the person in the car who sees it every day is going to see the one that's
exactly
the good one.
Yeah, that's right. So little tip for you.
That's actually good advice there, Brian, because it kind of falls, maybe we need to do a show that's just called Quick Tips sometime, but what goes along with that is when you're building boxes, guys, always set up your table saw first and rip all your widths at the same time. That way your widths are all consistent. When you go to put your box together, you're not off by a 1/16 of an inch or a couple 30 seconds every time, which kind of follows the same philosophy. Once you've got the router bit set, do all four. That way they're the same height, which makes total sense.
Exactly.
Yep.
Awesome.
So, quick question. I think we need, as I jokingly tell everyone, we try to keep this show to 90 minutes every night or every Tuesday night. We're close. We're going to be a little over, but that's okay. I know we need to announce the big winner for the Master Tech Expo, and I'm going to pull an earbud out so I can hear. So, Bill, if we got a winner for the Master Tech Expo pulled, I got a yep, so that means okay, so while both of you are here, if you don't mind, I'd like to announce the winner for this contest while you, Brian, are here, obviously, and you, Mark, if you don't mind. And so, with that said, it's been our pleasure to do this contest. It's about a 6-week run. We, here on Unmasked Live, we have this habit that we try to do a little bit longer running contest that's a little bit of a bigger prize. It's kind of a habit we've got into. So I want to thank everyone who entered the contest. Thank you for tuning in on Tuesday night. We certainly appreciate you. Without the viewers, this show is absolutely nothing. We love your feedback. We love all the comments you give us, both good and bad. We need them both. That helps us make sure we've got a great show for you here, guys. And just looking at tonight's show, I think tonight's show was a home run. Winner, chicken dinner. Thank you to Brian. Thank you to Mark for joining us tonight. I know, Mark, you're a busy man. You do a lot of stuff on your own YouTube channel. If you don't know who Mark is, you need to go check out the Car Audio Fab. It is a fantastic channel. I've been watching it for a year or so. He does a lot of great stuff, and it's really cool to have him join us tonight because that is kind of like where the rubber meets the road, a guy who's taking these Mobile Solutions tools, and he's doing fantastic installs on a daily basis. So couldn't think of any two guys better to be on screen with me while we announce the winner. Winner of the contest, Master Tech Force. You're going to get the seat at the show. You're getting a plane ticket there and back. You're getting your hotel room paid for, and you're getting $350 cash. Bill, who's our winner? Congratulations to Garrett F. from Massachusetts. You are the Master Tech Expo winner. So there we go, Garrett F. from Massachusetts. Now, Garrett, we will reach out to you tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Bill Frog will get an email out to you tomorrow. If you're watching the show, which we hope you are, and you're excited you won, you can always reach out to social@kicker.com. Once we get an email communication with you, we will get everything set up on how we get everything taken care of to get you butt in a plane, to a hotel room, into that class, get to learn how to use all these tools hand-on, get to spend some time with this. And a quick question, are you going to be at the Master Tech Expo, Mark?
Of course. Is that a real question?
Well, it was a sincere question. I didn't know if you were going to join or not, so that our winner will get a chance not only meet Brian, but actually get to meet you in person, I would say then. So that sounds like a fantastic deal. And again, Kicker's throwing $350 cash in for a stipend so you can buy meals, just meals. You're not going to buy beverages. It's just something to eat, not to drink. So that is our winner tonight. Everyone, we will reach out to him. Just so you know, we give winners of all of our contests 7 days to reply. So if you're watching the show, you get the email, please reply. If we do not get a winner in 7 days, we will come back on and we will draw another winner and announce them on next week's show, and maybe we'll get just Bryan to come join us for just a few minutes, because if we don't get the winner, I'd be shocked. But in 7 days, if we don't have one, we will draw another person for that. It's a big prize. We want to make sure someone gets to use it. So if you are the winner, please respond as quickly as possible. So with that said, we're right at 9 o'clock. Do you guys want to hang around while we do the nightly drawing for Tuesday night?
I'm good.
You there? You want to stay? All right, let's do it. So as you know, we do the Tuesday night, we do a drawing here on Kicker Unmasked Live. And tonight we're giving away, I'm going to actually bring up, because even I sometimes don't know what we've decided we're going to do. So tonight on the show, we've got the 3 winners. We're actually going to do, on third place, you're going to get a set of EB300 earbuds, a Kicker car tag, and an Unmasked Live t-shirt. Second place, we're doing a set of Tabor 2 wireless headphones, a Kicker car tag, and a limited edition Unmasked Live t-shirt. And our first place grand prize winner tonight, you're going to walk away with a Bullfrog BF100 Bluetooth speaker. You're going to get a Kicker car tag, and you're going to get one of the limited edition Kicker Unmasked Live t-shirts. So that's the prizes we're giving away tonight. And then I think, and this is why I wanted to hang on, didn't you mention something earlier, Bryan, about you wanted to kick in something for the grand prize winner as well tonight, for tonight's show?
Yeah, why not?
What do you want to do?
Let's do this new art guide system. So the whole set, we're going to add this to it. I think I sent a picture, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, the whole set. And we'd love to include that as one of the prizes for tonight. There you go.
So there we go. So our grand prize winner tonight, our Tuesday night winner, you're going to get the standard Kicker swag pack that we just detailed out for you. Plus, you are going to get one of the new art guide kits courtesy of Bryan and Mark over at Car Audio Fabrication, or Mobile Solutions. Those two guys working together, they're the ones who came up with this tonight. So guys, thank you so much for putting that out there and adding that to tonight's drawing. That is a fantastic prize. So with that said, Bill, I know you got winners. Who is our number 3 winner tonight? Winner number 3 is David M. from Massachusetts. Man, Massachusetts in the house tonight. What's going on with that? So we got David M. He is winner number 3. David, lay out the rules for you here real quick. It'll be the same for second and first place. When Bill reaches out to you with an email, we need you to respond. We need to get an actual shipping address from you. Cannot be a P.O. box, please. We do need a phone number. Any of the shipping information, whether it's UPS, USPS, DHS, FedEx, Carrier Pigeon, they all want to know a phone number, so if they can't find your residence or they need to arrange for you to pick it up at their local hub, they can get a hold of you. Sincerely, we do not use your number for any marketing purposes. It just goes into the shipping information. And then we also in the email need you to confirm your shirt size. We know sometimes those drop-down boxes, especially if you're in a hurry to get back to the show, you meant to hit extra large, you hit medium, and you know, if you're an extra large guy like me, you don't be wearing no medium. So be sure you confirm your shirt size so we get the right size out to you. Just reply to that email you get tomorrow from Bill Frog. So that's winner number 3. Winner number 2, who do we have tonight, Bill? Winner number 2 is Adam B. from Texas. Adam B., thank you for tuning into the show. Hope you are happy with winning the second place prize tonight. You're going to love those Tabor 2s. They're a great Bluetooth headset. Going to get that Kicker tag and that Unmasked t-shirt. You're going to love it. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Couldn't say thank you enough. And that brings us up to winner number 1, who's going to get the Bullfrog, the tag, the shirt, and courtesy of our good friends over there at Mobile Solutions and Mark at CAF for joining us tonight. We're going to get a set of those art guides in as well for winner number 1. So Bill, please tell me who is lucky number 1 tonight. Tonight's grand prize winner is Simon S. from Minnesota. So Simon S. from Minnesota, you are the grand prize winner tonight. Just as we said for all 3, when you get the email from Bill, need your shipping address, no P.O. box. We need your phone number so we can put that in the shipping detail information, and we need you to confirm your shirt size. And that wraps up the drawing for all 3 winners for the Tuesday night Unmasked edition, along with the grand prize winner who's won that trip, the seat, the training, and the cash, all the way to go out and enjoy that Master Tech Expo. So real quick, let me swap spots with Bryan there. That's fine. Bryan, thank you for doing this. Do you have anything to add to the winner or anything about Master Tech Expo you want to get out there? Because I'm actually, as we get closer to the event, I'm going to have you back on for another show, but what would you like to say about it right now?
It's going to be unbelievable. As time goes on, it just keeps building and building. The anticipation, the presenters, kind of the curriculum that we're coming up with. I mean, we know that Mark Fukuda is coming. Dave Condiggett is coming. All of our top builders are coming.
Wow.
You know, it is going to be amazing. So don't miss it. It's the inaugural there's only the first of one, and this is it. There's only one live star, Woodstock, whatever. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So don't miss it.
Thank you very much, sir. And then down here, I feel like I'm playing Hollywood Squares tonight. Down in the bottom right corner, we got Mark from Cafe. Mark, what do you got to add? What do you want to plug? What do you want to tell us about CAF and yourself? Thank you for joining us on the show tonight. I can't say thank you enough. It's actually a pleasure to be here with you. I consider you one of the greats out there doing things to teach people. So the camera and the mic's all yours. What do you got for us?
And I'm so humbled to hear that. I really appreciate you guys watching the videos and learning. It just blows me away that there's so many guys out there that enjoy, seeing that content. And, I really can't do any of it without you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. A big shout out to Bryan, of course. Bryan, a lot of people don't know the story, but, Bryan was one of the first people to ever reach out to me and say, hey, man, what can I do to help you with your channel? So, a lot of my success and a lot of the reason for all these videos, it really boils down to Bryan. So big shout out to Bryan. Really appreciate you. Bryan, just, it's all about the community. We all support each other, and Bryan's been a big supporter for a long time. So definitely appreciate that. If you guys do want to check out the channel, it's youtube.com/car audio fabrication. You can learn all about how to design, build, and install your dream car audio system. So, and one more thing, I did confirm that Grandpa's router, the code will in fact work. So
Grandpa's router it is.
There's enough space.
Say, Bryan, how long will that code be active so just the people viewing will know?
Hey, let's do 1 week.
Okay.
And we'll do a week, and get your stuff, and it's just a special for you guys only, for the viewers and the people tuning in. So it's a cool deal for you guys only.
So that means everyone who's talked about spending their money tonight, go ahead and spend that. Get next week's check. You can go and dip again. It's no problem at all. Bryan will be happy to take your money 5 days from now, 6 days from now, and even 7 days from now. So he's looking out for you.
Thank you guys for your support.
No, we appreciate it. This was fun. We certainly appreciate doing it. When you got some free time, Mark, I'd love to reach out to you, maybe start a conversation. There's a lot of people in the feed, that brought up, trying to do something, kind of a KICKER collab with you. Maybe we can talk about doing a project with you on some show looking forward. We ought to have a conversation about that.
Let's do it for sure. You mentioned doing like quick tips. I like the idea of that, even just some little things that we could talk about that, sometimes it's those little things that really make the biggest difference. So
I could not disagree with you on that at all. That is absolutely correct. So with that said, I'm going to let you two gentlemen off the hook for the night. I can't thank you enough for joining us here on KICKER Unmasked Live Weekly, and we will talk to both of you again soon. Have a great rest of the week and enjoy your weekend, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Good night. So, man, talk about a show. I was watching a lot of the comment feed. I know you guys enjoyed tonight's show, and I did too. It was great having Bryan come on, do those live demos on the show, having Mark from CAF join us, kind of get his perspective on his favorite tools that come out of the Mobile Solutions family of products. I thought it was a fantastic show. We got to announce the big winner for the Master Tech Expo, and of course, the 3 winners for tonight. Can't thank enough for all of you who tune in and watch this show. As always, it's my pleasure to be the knucklehead in front of the camera, representing the 220 plus employees here at Stillwater Designs. We got Tim behind the cameras tonight. We got Ernie back there running the switcher. Only one tonight because, as you know, one failed. We got JW. We got Bill Frog back there. And we are doing everything we can to give you guys a fantastic show and presentation. We certainly appreciate you tuning in. Enjoy the rest of the week. Weekend's coming up. Be sure whatever you got planned, you have fun. Enjoy doing it. As always, KICKER Unmasked Live, it's every Tuesday night, 7:30 Central Time, and we will see you next Tuesday here on the show. Jamie B., great show. We appreciate it, man. Sean Michael Hagan, awesome show, amazing show. David Monroe, man, keep them coming. Great show, guys. Mike Kicker Clog Craner. I'm the Cookie Monster of Money, 25 Hertz to Life. Amazing as always. Thank you, Mr. E100, double E100. We have fun doing this. We certainly appreciate you tuning in tonight. We ran a little bit overnight, so I apologize for that, but I felt like it was a great show. You all have a great weekend again. We will see you next Tuesday, 7:30 Central Time, right here on the KICKER Unmasked Live Weekly. Have a good one, everyone. Good night.
Good evening, everyone. Be sure you get that Schmedium. Twisted Tea, Hippopotamus, cold beverage, Schmedium, Midler, out in BFE, out in BFE. At the end of the day, good evening, everyone. Tuesday.